Let's look now at the aims and objectives of this particular webinar. We're going to obtain a good overview of the Defective Premises Act. We're going to understand the challenges to those who wish to avail of the DPA. We're going to understand the incoming changes to the DPA, and we're going to appreciate the context in which those changes are coming and to make an action plan for you to take away. All in all, the aim and objective is so that you can advise and work with more confidence and competence on the projects that you're involved in. So why is it important? Well, there are two key factors apart from the policy reasons as to why the DPA is an important piece of legislation. Both of those fall under Section 6 of the Act. The first is under Section 6.2, that there can be no contracting out of the statutory duties. What that means is that these duties are imposed. They're regulated, and when they can't be contracted out of, it means the parties can't agree that the statutory duties don't apply. Thus, any term in any contract that tries to do so will be null and void. The second reason the DPA is important is under 6.3, and that is because the DPA duties and the remedies exist in addition to others which may be available to the potential claimant, i.e. those that may be available through contract or otherwise in tort. So for those two reasons, the DPA is a small piece of legislation that really punches above its weight. So as we wind up towards the end of this webinar, I've got some summary takeaways for you. Remembering, first of all, that backdrop to the Defective Premises Act is a policy-driven one. It's 40 years old and it is still relevant. And as I said before, punching above its weight. Section 1 claims and Section 4 claims covering all sorts of residential property. Now, we all know that construction works are not always done properly, and sometimes this isn't spotted at the time, and sometimes serious problems may not be obvious or don't become obvious for some time. They don't manifest themselves until later. In terms of let promises then, lack of maintenance is sadly very common. We've got that very strong question of landlord's knowledge or ought to know knowledge. And therefore, it shows that the Defective Premises Act continues to be a vital piece of legislation.